So, as all of our creative processes, writing is also done by many hands. Not all together though. Each one can write a piece in their own home, then we put it all together on the internet. Normally our process goes from having, when we decide to have a new show, when we know we're going to have a new show, Matthew has a vision that we normally discuss, some ideas, and then he has this basic vision of what he sees it to be. And then we get together and brainstorm on the structure and what goes in, and we create it together, like weaving with these different voices, the different styles of each one of us who are doing the writing for that piece. And so there's a lot of, in this brainstorming, that's when we see how plural we all are, how our voices are so different. Some of us, not only in this brainstorming of ideas, but then of course you see it through the writing as well, but some of us are more poetic, some of us do lyrics, some of us are very sacred oriented, some of us are more political and serious, and some of us are just very mundane. And I guess all of that makes for the huge strength that we have in the pieces that we write. So after we decide on the line of how we're going to do this, then many times, like for Mandragore, we decided on the line for the whole play, beginning, middle, end, first act, second act, everything, and then each one of us went off and wrote their own piece and kept adding things to this main text that was being created collectively online. So I think that's one of the coolest things that we have is the way we weave the different voices together. I'm very, very thankful to Matthew Ellenwood for allowing me and inviting me to be part of the writing team for Terra Mysterium. When we did the first version of Betwixt and Between, I helped writing a couple pieces on spirits and fairies of Brazil, where I'm from. And then on Mandragore, I had a very important part writing for Joconda, my character, and some of her scenes that were like very chunky in the whole work, and I think that went very well. I also helped with the through line for Finding Elusives, which was mainly an improvised show, but the line and the way that things happen, I was there for that meeting when we decided how it was going to go and divided it in certain acts. And I discovered that my main participation is actually throwing a lot of comedy and a lot of mundane, very mundane sometimes, elements into the shows. As I was saying before, we each have our own unique voice and style, and I discovered that my part has to do with that mundane little piece. And like for instance, on the meeting when we were discussing Finding Elusives and trying to figure out ways to tell the story that were also relating to our times, not just ancient Greece, but mixing the sacred with everyday life, this idea with the climax of the story is when the mother comes against the fiancé from the underworld and all of that, and they're fighting and arguing. All of a sudden we're in that meeting and this idea strikes me, and it sounds so odd and so off everything that I debate whether I share or not, and then I decided, what the hell, I'm gonna say it. And then it's like I said, well, it's sounding to me a lot like Jerry Springer, and I'm really glad I said that, because that's what spun the whole idea of having the Hermes Winger show in Finding Elusives. So I guess the main thing, which is great with TM, is that we cannot really censor ourselves. We really have to speak our mind, or whatever we're channeling, or I don't know where we're getting the ideas from. Even if they sound really off or weird, they may turn into something really beautiful, putting this mundane, this element inside the show also helps the audiences to relate to us, helps them understand the story and relate in different levels. So it depends. You can get so much from each one of our shows. You can get the whole sacred thing, you can get the idea that they are a ritual perhaps, But sometimes you can just relate to this level of the mundane, the funny, oh, I'm learning something new. I didn't know about this in terms of mythology or something else. So I think that's the beautiful work that we do when we weave those things right.